What is going on, my dummies, and welcome back to another Digimon Deck Tech. This is another one for 1.0. I'm starting to run out of them. I have to start doing 1.5. But today we're going over Rosemon Rest Control, I guess is the best way to describe it. We're trying to suspend as many of our opponents' Digimon, keep them from attacking, and gain advantage off of that and momentum off of that to keep tempo. So without further ado, let's get into this weird deck. So first up, we play a one-of Tanemon as our Digitama. When attacking, if we Digivolve this turn, we get plus 1,000 DP. This is in here for a particular reason. It's not in here because of it's good. It's the only other green Digitama we can play. When set 1.5 comes out, this gets replaced. I think Frimon actually gets to a one-of. I think the next Digitama is better. But yeah, we want as many Digitamas in our deck for a particular reason. Next up, we have Frimon as a 4-of. During our turn, if we have two, if our opponent has two suspended Digimon, that is, we get plus 2,000 power. So, like I said, we're trying to suspend our opponent's stuff. So, suspending means our power gets buffed hugely, and if our power gets buffed hugely, we're dealing damage. So, it's always a plus to have it. Moving on, we have our rookies, our level 3s. We have Goblimon, which is our vanilla. 2 to play normally, 0 to evolve, 3,000 DP. Just our regular vanilla. We have to play it. Plus, I don't think there's a lot of cards that really jump out at me for green rookies, that is. So, yeah, Goblimon, definitely a good card to play. Next up, we have Palmon, 3 to play normally, 0 to evolve, 1,000 DP. Now, we're normally going to be playing these. Whenever we have to Digivolve, it feels bad, but we want to play these. When we play them, we reveal the top 3 cards of our deck and add a level 4 Digimon from among them to our hand. Put the rest of them on the bottom in any order. So this helps us accelerate and gives us free card advantage to get to our level 6s. So it never ends badly whenever we have to hard play it. And I'll go over the different level 4s you grab and what situations you want to grab whenever I get down to them. Next up, we have a 4-of Agumon, 3 to play normally, 0 to evolve, 1,000 DP. Now, I thought about Tanemon because Tanemon allows me to rest, but it doesn't, or suspend, it doesn't allow me to permanently do it. And I like the Agumon because it buffs enough to where it can matter whenever attacking security or matter attacking blocker Digimon, for example. So, Agumon, I really like it in this deck more than other green rookies. So, keep that in mind. You can play Tanemon in this spot. You can play, I can't think of its name. Hold on, we're going to go back and look at it. So you guys have a good guesstimation of it. You could play Okuwamon or Okuwamon. I don't know how to say it, but you could play that, but it's 1 to evolve. I just like the Agumon because it does more for us. So moving on, we have our level 4s. The first level 4 we come across is Woodmon. Woodmon is our blocker. It's 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 6,000 DP. Now, this Digimon in particular, when we want to search for it with Palmon, we need to be in a state where our opponent's playing rush and we're just digging for the blockers to be able to block our opponent off. If we know they're playing it in game 2, we can just search for the Woodmon instead. So, like, we want the Woodmon more than we would want the Kabuterimon or the Togemon. So keep that in mind. Next up, we have Kabuterimon. 6 to play normally, 1 to evolve, 5,000 DP. Like, the 1 to evolve is important. This is our cheap option. But he also has an inheritable skill, which is really, really good. The inheritable skill says for every one of our opponent's suspended Digimon, we gain 1,000 DP for. So, like I said, we're resting a bunch of our opponent's stuff, so we're capable of resting stuff and then being able to gain a lot of power to get over our opponent's security checks. So, it's always a good thing. Always a good thing. Next up, we have Togemon, 6 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 5,000 DP. When we Digivolve into her, we reveal the top 3. And we get to add 1 level 5 or higher Digimon from among them to our hand, and we place the rest of them on the bottom in any order. This Togemon is pretty good. It allows us to fix ourselves for our level 5s and our level 6s. I like the Togemon more than the Palmon, but like the options for green are very limited. So I like I'm playing the Palmon, I guess. But the Togemon is definitely a really good card to play. I don't think there's a reason not to play it. So, yeah, Togemon's great. And, like, Palmon, we always want to search for Togemon if possible because, like, the card advantage just keeps going. Like, from the Palmon, we get the Togemon, we play the Togemon, we search for a level 5 or higher, and then we'll be able to get that into, or like play that on top of the Togemon, or eventually play that on top of whatever the Togemon is from. So it keeps our hand good, and it keeps our tempo going. Next up, we have our level 5s. We have Okuwamon, 7 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 6,000 DP. He says, when this Digimon inheritable skill, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon and survives, we gain +1 memory. Now that's important because we can use this to gain a lot of memory over time, and after we get all this memory, we can start just Digivolving and going out of control. Like, this deck does this a lot. Like being able to gain a bunch of memory and go out of control. And I'll explain how it works when we get done with the deck tech if you guys are interested in it. Next up we have Cherrymon. He's 8 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 7,000 DP, blocker. Now, I've already said this deck in particularly, I want to be able to hold things down, right? I want to be able to tap things down. I want to keep my opponent slowed. Sometimes we need an extra blocker. And like, you could replace this with Mega Kabuterimon if you want. He allows you to gain a memory if you attack and your opponent has 2 or more rested Digimon, right? We can play that if we want to. I like the Cherrymon because of the blocker. Like I said, like we have a good matchup against Rookie Rush because we can slow them down. But the Cherrymon just adds to that. Like, it allows us to combat them a little bit easier. And that's why I like playing the Cherrymon. Moving forward, we have our level 6s. We have a 4-4 split of Rosemon. She is 12 to play normally, 3 to evolve, 1,000 or 1,100 DP. She says, on our opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, we can suspend another Digimon our opponent controls. Now, this is important because we can actually target blockers with this ability. This isn't like a flower cannon. When they swing, we can tap down their blockers, and that's super relevant because we can also attack into them the next turn. So it makes our opponent have to think about what they want to do for their next turn because they know that we can swing into their stuff. And like when you have 2 Rosemons going, you're resting so much stuff that your opponent just can't get through. And that's why the Cherrymon and the Woodmon are so important, because they can block for us and keep our tempo going. Next up we have Puppetmon, 11 to play normally, which will happen a lot. 3 to evolve, which, believe it or not, I've actually done, and I'll explain what actually happens. But it's more of a combo-esque thing, but like I said, I'll get to that at the end. 10,000 DP. On place, we suspend one of our opponent's Digimon, and they're in their next unsuspend phase. None of their Digimon stand, or activate. So we basically keep them inactive so they can't do anything at all, and buy us some time to get to where we need to be. Also, when we attack with it, we gain a memory. So, like, if we do have to evolve onto a Okuwamon with a Puppetmon, when we swing into a Digimon and survive, we're gaining 2 memory off of that to be able to keep going and keep Digivolving, drawing cards, and keep the tempo in our favor. Finally, we have our optional cards. We have Flower Cannon. 2 to play normally, it suspends one of our opponent's Digimon, but normally we want this as a security effect. The security effect suspends all of our opponent's Digimon without blocker. So it slows any deck down, and I've seen Flower Cannons just swing a game in one direction. Just like somebody was in a losing situation, Flower Cannon, oh, I win, cool. Great card, super good green card. Next up we have Mimi, 4 to play normally. Security effect puts her into play just like all Tamers. And then she says at the start of our turn, for at 2 or less memory, we go to 3. Super good. Next, the main effect. If we have a level 5 or higher Digimon in play, we can suspend her to either hatch a Digi-Egg or move a level 3 or higher Digimon from our breeding area into the battle area. So this is why we want that 1-of Tanemon, because we're trying to go through the Digitama and draw cards as much as possible. Because drawing the cards mean we're playing more and more stuff. Playing more and more stuff means we keep our tempo and keep the board state where we want it. So that's why I play the 5 split. Normally I don't like the 5 split because the Digitamas aren't great in set 1. The great ones come later. The only great one I'll ever say is in set 1 would be Okuwamon for blue. I think that's the only one I can say for them that's the best. Finally, we get up to Terror Cluster. Terror Cluster, 7 to play normally. Security effect, we activate the main effect. We return one of our opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Now, this is a tech choice for me. This doesn't mean you need to play it. This is a tech choice for me. I've noticed that having something with a lot of security checks, like a like Goblimon, for example, hitting security. I'm just throwing something out there. I can't think off the top of my head, but something swinging and hitting a lot of security at one time, like having a Greymon up under it. This will trigger and throw it to the bottom. We no longer have to worry about it. It's just a tech choice for me. However, another card that you can play in this spot, and I will take this out so you guys can see. Another card you can play in this spot is Dimensional Scissors. And Dimensional Scissors actually it goes really, really good with this deck because of the way Puppetmon and Okuwamon work. And this is how I said like I was able to do so much stuff, but I found myself leaning more toward having creature elimination than having the Dimensional Scissors. But if you wanted to play the Dimensional Scissors, by all means do it. But what it does is basically 3 to play normally, a security effect adds it to our hand. We select one of our Digimon, and that Digimon, whenever it deletes an opponent's Digimon by battle and survives, we unsuspend it. So basically, if we have the Puppetmon and the Okuwamon, we swing at a Digimon, we kill it, we gain a memory off the Puppetmon, we gain a memory off the Okuwamon's inheritable skill, and we unsuspend ourselves. So we're going to do it again, and again, and again, and eventually you end up with like 6 memory if you attack 3 Digimon, for example, or more, and then you can go into a Rosemon, and then you, like, if your opponent has so much stuff on the battlefield that you can swing and destroy everything and gain a crazy amount of memory, your opponent cannot come back from that. It is insane because they lost everything and you just gained so much momentum off of card draw, Digivolutions, the memory that you gain from it. It is sick. But anyways, guys, that is the deck. Like I said, I don't very much enjoy this deck, like playing it, because I don't like playing control as much. I'm more of a mid-rangey, play my big dude, hope you can't, like, deal with it now kind of guy. So, like, I don't like this deck as much, but I'm not saying this deck is not good. Like, Rosemon Control is a very good deck. I think it's underrated, but it also needs a really patient pilot. You can't just go in and go ham with this deck. You have to sit back and wait on your opponent to do something. You can't just be full-on aggression with this deck because it's not going to get you anywhere. It's just playing a vanilla deck if you go full-on aggression on it. So keep that in mind. But yeah, if you like the video, leave a like and comment. Let me know other decks you want to see for set 1.0 that I have not done yet. There's only a few more I can think of that are left. I'm going to do one more this week and then set 1.5 deck. And then everything else is going to be something, just somebody asking me to build something is all it's going to be. So, yeah, just communicate with me, and I'll try to build whatever you guys want to see. But, yeah, also subscribe. I know a lot of you guys are watching. A lot of you guys aren't subscribed. Every subscription helps the channel. The more subscriptions, the better the quality of the videos, and the more videos get put out. So, yeah, without further ado, I guess I'm going to end the video off here. So, have a great day. Peace.